This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's Zalma's Insurance Fraud Letter, Volume 27, Issue Number 2 for January 15, 2023. This, the second issue of 2023 of Zalma's Insurance Fraud Letter, contains multiple articles that will be useful to all insurance fraud professionals, claims handlers, SIU investigators, and insurance coverage counsel. First is an article explaining why tax returns must be produced to an insurer that demands them and can be part of any potential fraud investigation. The insured must produce tax returns if the first-party insurer demands them in writing to be produced at a time and place specified in the demand. Every first-party property policy contains a provision requiring an insured to produce all relevant documents required to be produced by the insurer and to appear for examination under oath. This is California Insurance Code Section 2071 and or the New York Standard Fire Insurance Policy on which the California Insurance Code was based. The language of the California and New York Standard Fire Insurance Policies mandated by state statute to be in all policies that insure against fire in the state. When a finding that no reasonable trier of fact could conclude that a person named Herman cooperated in the investigation or settlement of his claim, where it was uncontroverted that the insurer never received financial data, including tax returns and proof of income, when an insured refused to produce his income tax returns, finding it was substantial and a material breach of his contractual duty to cooperate with clearly prejudice the insurer's investigation into possible motives of arson. The lengthy article can be read in full at the link on this blog to the ZIFL 01/15/2023. In addition, there are free insurance videos where I have published 5 days a week of videos on insurance claims law, insurance fraud, and insurance coverage matters at rumble.com, and where there are now more than 606 free videos, and you can subscribe to all of them for the almost daily free videos. Then there is an article about good news from the Coalition Against Insurance Fraud, listing several convictions, including why the victims of a $600 million disability scam, the largest ever, may finally have their long-lost benefits restored. Attorney Eric Cohn fooled Social Security into paying disability for thousands of perfectly healthy people. The Eastern Kentucky man built one of the nation's largest disability practices through pushy self-promotion and dishonest dealings. Cohn bribed the local judge, a psychologist, and doctors to rubber-stamp disability claims for clients, regardless of their health. Many patients weren't even examined. Social Security stopped their disability payments while figuring out which clients were truly injured and who was uninjured and making claim from Cohn's scam. Hundreds of impoverished, truly injured people lost desperately needed disability money. Many victims were unemployed coal miners scratching out a sparse living in pain. Cohn promised he'd get them their disability checks to help pay for critical medical care. Social Security, of course, when it learned of the scam, stopped coal miner Tim Dye's checks after Cohn was busted and Dye's wife sold her jewelry and possessions from their home. She even begged for water from neighbors. Other Kentuckians lost their homes and several committed suicide. Cohn received 27 years in federal prison last year, and I hope he enjoys his time in the Gray Bar Hotel because he sincerely deserves it. Under a recent agreement, however, Cohn's former clients can have their disability benefits restored if they request new hearings. You can read the full article and all convictions reported by the Coalition Against Insurance Fraud at the link to the January 15 issue on the blog post. Then there is an article about how to add to the professionalism of insurance claims professionals. Every insurer, insurance syndicate, insurance brokerage, insurance sales agency, insurer branch office, and vendors to the insurance industry should add to their libraries of their various offices or employees professional literature to add to the professionalism of the staff of insurance professionals. Every insurer should make available to each of them the following books that are at reasonable prices from Amazon.com, the American Bar Association, Thomson Reuters, or Full Court Press, written by Barry Zalma, with details about each book that are available at my insurance claims library at zalma.com/blog/insurance claims library. You can see the links and read the full article at the link to the January 15 issue. Then there's an article I wrote, Why Insurance Fraud Succeeds, and why it is time for insurers to be proactive against insurance fraud. There has been much hand-wringing and wailing over the malfeasance of corporate officers and directors of FTX, Crypto Exchange, Enron, WorldCom, and others. No one, however, has gone to the root causes of the situation with regard to insurance fraud. It should be a foremost duty of the insurance industry to do whatever it can to defeat insurance fraud and work to compel prosecutors, police officers, fraud division, or fraud bureau investigators, SIU investigators, and claims handlers to work to deter or defeat insurance fraud. You can read the full article at the January 15 issue by clicking on the link. Then there's a listing of health insurance convictions, starting with a case where a doctor was required to pay $1,850,000 to resolve allegations that she performed and billed for medically unnecessary cataract surgeries and diagnostic tests. RTD Pandya, MD, and RTD Pandya, MD, PC, agreed to pay approximately $1,850,000 to resolve allegations that they violated the False Claims Act by, among other things, billing the government for cataract surgeries and diagnostic tests that were not medically necessary tests, that were incomplete or of worthless value, and office visits that did not provide the level of service claimed. You can read about this conviction and all of the other convictions reported in this issue by clicking on the link to the January 15 issue. Then there's a bit of fiction, The Great Jewel Theft, a story that was a fictionalized true crime story of insurance fraud that is presented to explain why insurance fraud is a heads-I-win, tails-you-lose situation for insurers. The story and the more than 80 similar stories help to understand how insurance fraud in America is costing everyone who buys insurance millions, if not billions of dollars every year. 20 years later, after resolving a claim that was a fraud, and after succeeding at the fraud, at least partially, the insured was arrested, tried, and convicted of being the leader of a terrorist and criminal organization called the Armenian Mafia. He is now serving a long term in the federal prison. In addition, we have dozens more convictions at the other insurance fraud convictions article, where, for example, a person, Robert Fratta, was executed for murder for insurance money. And he received a lethal injection at the state penitentiary in Huntsville for the November 1994 fatal shooting of his wife. He was pronounced dead at 7:49 p.m. in January of 2023. Fratta, a former suburban Houston police officer, was executed for hiring two people to kill his estranged wife nearly 30 years ago amid a contentious divorce and custody battle. Prosecutors reported that Fratta organized the murder-for-hire plot in which a middleman, Joseph Priestash, hired the shooter, Howard Guidry. Fratta, 33, was shot twice in the head in her home's garage in the Houston suburb of Atascocita. Robert Fratta, who was a public safety officer for Missouri City, had long claimed he was innocent. He lost all of his appeals. You can read the full article and all the other stories of convictions at the link to Zalma's insurance fraud letter. This video was adapted from my blog post and from Zalma's insurance fraud letter for January 15, 2023. It is available free to anyone who clicks on the link at zalma.com/blog or anyone who clicks on the link to Zalma's insurance fraud letter. If you found this video to be interesting or useful to you and your friends, please tell your friends and colleagues so that they can also subscribe to the newsletter and to the blog and to my videos at rumble.com and youtube.com. And if you do watch it on youtube.com or rumble.com, please click on the like button and or the rumble button as you do. Thank you for your attention.